Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The year is 624. 2 years after the Prophet ﷺ and his companions left Mecca with nothing. On one side, 1,000 warriors, armored, cavalry, the full military strength of Mecca's most powerful tribe. On the other side, 313 men, 2 horses, 70 camels. Many of them had no weapons beyond a sword and whatever courage they could carry. They met at a valley called Badr, 200 kilometers from Medina. What happened there in a single afternoon changed the trajectory of history. This is the Battle of Badr. First, some context. Because this battle did not appear from nowhere. When the Prophet ﷺ and his companions made hijrah to Medina, the Quraysh of Mecca did not simply let them leave. They seized the homes, the property, the businesses of everyone who emigrated. The companions left Mecca with almost nothing, and Mecca's economy ran on a massive annual trade caravan, a convoy that traveled north to Syria, loaded with goods, returned with profit, and kept the city wealthy. That caravan belonged to everyone in Mecca. Rich and poor had invested in it. It was Mecca's financial artery. The Prophet ﷺ had intelligence, real, organized intelligence. He had appointed 2 companions, Talha and Sa'd ibn Zayd, to track the movement of Qurayshi caravans. They were professionals. On one occasion, they positioned themselves near a well and overheard 2 women talking. One owed the other money. She said, "When Abu Sufyan's caravan passes through here, I will pay you back from what I earn." The scouts left immediately, rode back to Medina, and reported, "The caravan is coming. It is led by Abu Sufyan. It carries 50,000 gold coins worth of merchandise. There are 100 men guarding it. 50,000 on the way out. The return trip would triple it." Abu Sufyan was no fool. He had his own network. He reached the same well a day later, asked the locals. If anything strange had happened, they said 2 riders came, watered their horses, and left quickly. He walked over and examined the horse dung. He broke it open with his hands. Inside, date seeds. He said, "Only people from Medina feed their horses dates. Medina is tracking us." He immediately sent a rider to Mecca at full speed. Message: "Send help now. Our caravan is in danger." What happened next in Mecca is one of the most fascinating parts of this story. Abu Jahl, real name Amr ibn Hisham, nicknamed by the Prophet as Abu Jahl, father of ignorance, took control. He wanted war. He had always wanted war. He assembled an army of 1,000 men with horses, armor, and drums. The Quraysh had war music. They brought singing women to march with the army to keep morale high and ensure no one turned back. But not everyone in Mecca wanted this. A man named Utbah ibn Rabi'ah, one of the most respected elders of Mecca, stood up and made a speech. He said, "These people you are going to fight are your brothers, your sons, your cousins, your blood. If you kill them, what will the Arabs say about you? Quraysh killed their own family. And if this man is truly a prophet, which some of you privately believe, then you are walking toward your own destruction. Leave him. Let the Arabs deal with him." The Prophet ﷺ heard this speech from across the valley and said, if they had listened to that man, they would have been saved. But Abu Jahl was cunning. He turned to the crowd and said, "Utbah is afraid to fight because his son is on the Muslim side." He called him a coward. In Arab culture, that accusation was almost impossible to ignore. Utbah buckled. He grabbed his sword and said, "Fine, I will go." The first intelligence report about the Muslim army came from a scout named Umayr ibn Wahab, a Qurayshi warrior sent to assess the enemy. He rode around the Muslim camp, counted, watched, and came back. He reported to the Qurayshi leadership, "They have no heavy weapons, barely any horses, maybe 300 men." Then he paused. "But I saw something in them I cannot explain. They have a stillness, a readiness. I'm telling you, every one of them will kill one of you before he dies. If each of them kills just one of you, what kind of victory is that?" The Qurayshi leaders went quiet. Their morale dropped. Meanwhile, something extraordinary was happening on the Muslim side. Allah sent on the believers a calm. The Arabic word is sakina, not psychological conditioning, Not pep talks, a genuine supernatural tranquility that descended on their hearts. The Quran describes it in Surah Al-Anfal. We settled upon your hearts a stillness, and then it rained, but only where the Muslims were. The rain compacted their side of the ground, made it firm and easy to march on. The Qurayshi side turned to mud, and the Muslims slept. On the night before the most important battle of their lives, they slept. Some of them were embarrassed about this later. They said, "We should have been awake, praying, preparing. Instead, we were snoring." The Prophet ﷺ told them that sleep was from Allah, that rest was your provision. A companion named Habab ibn Munzir came to the Prophet ﷺ and asked a direct question. This position you have chosen, is it revelation from Allah, or is it your own military judgment? The Prophet ﷺ said, my own judgment. Habab said, then with respect, it is not the best position. There are wells here. We should advance. Occupy the main well. Seal all the others except one. Then when the enemy arrives, they are thirsty from the march, and we control the only water for miles. The Prophet ﷺ looked at him. He said, that is an excellent plan. He advanced the army. They seized the wells of Badr, sealed all but one, and built a cistern for the Muslim horses. When the Qurayshi army arrived, after a long march in the heat, there was no water for them. On the Arabian Peninsula, water is not a convenience. Water is the difference between fighting and collapsing. Sa'd ibn Mu'adh, leader of the Ansar, came to the Prophet ﷺ with another proposal. He said, let us build you a command post at the rear. We will keep a horse ready beside it. If the battle turns against us, you ride that horse to Medina. The religion survives as long as you survive. The Prophet ﷺ accepted. A palm frond shelter was built. He and Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu went inside. And the Prophet ﷺ began to pray. He raised his hands so high that his robe slipped from his shoulders. He said, O Allah, if this group is destroyed today, you will not be worshipped on this earth. O Allah, you promised me victory, fulfill your promise. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu was beside him, crying, holding his hand. He said, that is enough, O Messenger of Allah. Allah will fulfill what he promised you. The Quran confirms what happened in the sky above. Badr. Allah sent thousands of angels to fight alongside the believers. Not as observers, as fighters. Some companions reported seeing riders on horses they had never seen before. Warriors whose heads never moved, who fought with a precision unlike anything human. Now the battle itself. The Arab tradition before a full engagement was mubara'ah. Single combat. The strongest fighters from each side came forward first. 3 men stepped out from the Qurayshi side. Utbah ibn Rabi'ah, his brother Shayba ibn Rabi'ah, and Utbah's son Walid. 3 of the most formidable warriors in Mecca. The Prophet ﷺ called 3 names: Hamza, Ubaidah ibn Harith, Ali. Hamza was 59 years old. He walked forward like a man going to collect something he was owed. Ali was in his mid-20s. He moved like water. Hamza faced Utbah. The fight was over in one strike. Utbah was dead. Ali faced Walid. 2-3 exchanges of blade. Walid was dead. Ubaidah faced Shayba, and this one was different. They fought long. Ubaidah took a severe wound. Hamza and Ali saw it, came to help, and killed Shayba. But Ubaidah was bleeding out. They carried him to the Prophet ﷺ. Ubaidah lay on the ground, blood flowing, and looked up at the Prophet ﷺ. He said, O Messenger of Allah, do you remember what Abu Talib said? He said to the Quraysh, we will place our children at Muhammad's feet and let them bleed before we hand him over. He said, I hope I am among those he meant. He died after the battle. He never made it back to Medina. Then the full battle began. The Prophet ﷺ picked up a handful of dust and threw it in the direction of the Qurayshi army. The Quran records this in Surah Al-Anfal. You did not throw when you threw, it was Allah who threw. The dust and wind struck the Qurayshi front line in the eyes. On the wet mud of their side of the valley, blinded, disoriented, They could not hold formation. Two teenage boys were standing near Abdurrahman ibn Auf, radiallahu anhu, one of the senior companions. They were thin, young, barely old enough to hold a sword. One of them, Muadh, son of a woman named Afra, tugged his sleeve and asked, "Uncle, which one is Abu Jahl?" Abdurrahman asked, "What do you want with Abu Jahl?" Muadh said, "I heard he used to mock the Prophet ﷺ and curse him. I swear by Allah, either he goes or I go." Abdurrahman pointed across the chaos of battle. Those two boys sprinted directly at the commander of the Qurayshi army, surrounded by his personal guard. They fought through the guard. Muadh took a blow that nearly severed his arm. The arm was left hanging. He stepped on it with his foot, tore it off at the shoulder, picked up his sword with his other hand, and kept going. Abu Jahl fell. Both boys came separately to the Prophet ﷺ, and each said, "I killed Abu Jahl." The Prophet ﷺ asked, "Which of you wiped his sword?" They both said, "I did." He looked at the blades and said, "You both killed him. You will both share the reward." He then went to look at the body himself. He stood over Abu Jahl's body and said, "This is the pharaoh of this nation." Abu Jahl, before the battle, had raised his hands to the sky and made a dua in front of his army. He said, "O Allah, choose between us. Choose the better side." The Prophet ﷺ later said, "He cursed himself with his own mouth. He asked Allah to judge between truth and falsehood, and Allah judged." Now, the prisoners. 70 Qurayshi soldiers were captured. 70 were killed. The Muslim losses, by most accounts, were 14 men. Among the prisoners was a man named Umayyah ibn Khalaf, the man who had owned Bilal radiallahu anhu as a slave. The man who used to take Bilal into the desert at noon, lay a boulder on his chest and say, "You will stay here until you renounce Muhammad or die." The man whom Abu Bakr bought Bilal from to free him. Abdurrahman ibn Auf radiallahu anhu had taken Umayyah as his prisoner. A wealthy prisoner meant a large ransom. He was walking Umayyah towards safety when Bilal saw them. Bilal said, "Either he lives or I live, not both." Abdurrahman said, "He is my prisoner. You cannot touch him." Bilal turned and called out to the Ansar soldiers nearby. He said, "Remember the man I told you about? The one who used to torture me? He is right there." The young Ansar fighters came. Abdurrahman threw himself over Umayyah to protect his prisoner. They went around him, killed Umayyah's son first, then pulled Umayyah out and killed him too. Abdurrahman ibn Auf spent the rest of that day walking around muttering, "O Bilal, because of you I lost my prisoner and my share of the spoils." And Bilal was free in a way he had not been even after Abu Bakr bought him. Among the prisoners too was Musab ibn Umair radiallahu anh, one of the most beloved companions of the Prophet ﷺ, a man who had given up wealth and family for Islam. He saw his own brother, Abi Aziz, in the hands of an Ansar soldier. Musab said to the soldier, "Keep his hands tied tightly. His mother is rich. You will get a good ransom." His brother stared at him. He said, "Is that how you speak about your own brother?" Musab said, "You are not my brother. This Ansar man is my brother." The Prophet ﷺ ordered that the prisoners be treated well. He told his companions, "These people may become your brothers in faith. Feed them before you feed yourselves." The companions shared their food, their dates, their water, with men who had come to kill them. 2 prisoners were not pardoned. The Prophet ﷺ stopped the column on the way back to Medina. He called for Nadir ibn Harith. Nadir was the man who used to hire entertainers and dancers in Mecca, positioning them next to the Prophet ﷺ while he recited the Quran to distract people. He used to whistle and mock to drown out the recitation. When the Prophet ﷺ told stories of the prophets, Nadir would stand up and say, "I can tell you better stories from Persia." Ali radiallahu anhu executed him. Then they stopped again for Uqba ibn Abi Mu'ayt. Uqba was the man who once put his foot on the neck of the Prophet ﷺ while he was in sujood and pressed until the Prophet ﷺ thought he would die. The man who threw filth on the Prophet ﷺ, who organized the worst of the physical abuse in Mecca. As he was being led forward, Uqba cried out, "Who will care for my children?" The Prophet ﷺ said, "Hellfire." He was executed. The Prophet ﷺ then returned to the battlefield and sat beside the pit where the Qurayshi dead had been placed. He addressed them by name, one by one. "O Abu Jahl, O Utbah, O Shayba, have you found what your Lord promised you? I have found what my Lord promised me." Umar radiallahu anhu said, "O Messenger of Allah, do they hear you? They are dead." The Prophet ﷺ said, "They hear me better than you do." The Prophet ﷺ remained at Badr for 3 days. He sent riders to Medina with the news of victory. The irrational fake news spread immediately. Abu Jahl's allies were saying, "Muhammad was killed. It was a rumor." When Zayd ibn Haritha radiallahu anha arrived at Medina riding the Prophet's own camel, some Eudicious said, "See, he's not on his camel. Something happened to him." Then the actual message came. The believers erupted in takbir. In Mecca, grief. Abu Sufyan publicly refused to wash his hair or see his wife until he had avenged Badr. Mecca began preparing for the next confrontation. That confrontation would come at Uhud 1 year later. But Badr had already done something that could not be undone. Before Badr, the Muslims were refugees, a displaced community, living on the generosity of people they barely knew, with no army, no territory, no resources, and enemies on every side. After Badr, they were a force. Arab tribes across the peninsula began sending delegations to Medina. The Prophet ﷺ received them one by one and made alliances. The map of Arabia began to shift. The Quran calls Badr Yawm al-Furqan, the day of distinction, the day the line was drawn between truth and falsehood, visible to everyone who was watching. 313 men who had nothing on paper, who were outweighed, outarmed, outnumbered 3-1. But they had something that does not appear in any military calculation. They had certainty. When a young man named Umayr ibn Humam radiallahu anhu was eating dates before the battle and heard the Prophet ﷺ describe what paradise looked like, he stopped mid-bite. He said, "Are these dates the only thing standing between me and paradise right now?" He put them down. He walked into the battle. He was killed. And the Prophet ﷺ said, "He is among the people of paradise." That is what Badr was. Not a lucky victory, not superior tactics alone. A moment when a small number of people believed completely, and the world reorganized itself around their belief. Whatever you are carrying right now, whatever the numbers look like, whatever the odds say. The lesson of Badr is not that Muslims always win. The lesson is that when sincerity meets truth, when the heart is completely committed to what it knows is right, Allah enters the calculation. And when Allah enters, the math changes. May Allah make us among those who carry certainty where others only carry weapons. Among those who trust His promise when the enemy looks 3 times larger. And among those who, like the companions at Badr, walk forward not because the numbers are favorable, but because the Lord behind them is. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.